We're back on this Friday with another 12 Teams in 12 Days segment. I'm Bobby Broyles alongside Tim McDonald.
Thank you.
Today we preview another team that will be entering its second year in the league in the Seawolves of Stony Brook. SBU had a bit more success than UAlbany in its first year as they finished 2013 on a positive note, winning their last 2 games, Tim.
Yep, we talked about over and over again last year when Stony Brook came into this league how I think they would match up physically. A rough start to 2013. They lose 3 of their first 4 games. They win at Rhodey to start the season, so you're thinking, okay, they're really convincing 24-0 win. They go to Buffalo, lose a really close game, 5 overtimes. That really set the tone. All of a sudden, they're 1-1. Then they lose to Nova and Towson in back-to-back weeks. And really, I think the biggest question for Stony Brook last year was that physicality, and then a little bit of inconsistency on offense, which we'll get into here a little bit. But you lose a running back like Marcus Coker in the second game of the year. And Stony Brook, I think it's just like Albany and like some of the teams coming into CAA football. You're going to get used to that daily grind. I think physicality was a question for them last year, and I think that maybe led to some inconsistencies at times.
Well, we had a chance to chat with Stony Brook head coach Chuck Priori, where he discussed what his team learned from year 1 in the CAA.
Yeah, you learn a lot, and I knew that going into it. First of all, you're playing 8 new teams that you never played before. You're going to different venues you never visited, and you're going against staffs that you've got to get a feel of how they handle their preparation and game plan. And so you'll learn all those things. I think when you get into year 2, you have just a little bit more comfort level of the expectation. How fast is the speed of the league? What is the physicality of the league? And how do teams in away games prepare and how do teams at home games prepare? And there's always a difference. And so we learned a lot, and I think we can really carry that over to some more success this year.
Last season, Tim, this team struggled to find that consistency, like you said, on offense. Much of that was probably attributed to losing, like you said, Marcus Coker at running back. Coker returns, and though the offense needs to find a new quarterback, you would think Stony Brook will try to go back to its ground and pound offense.
Yeah, that Chuck Priori mentality of just, get the ball and go between the tackles, that. I think you look at this Stony Brook team and then they just, it's so hard for them last year because that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to come into CAA football and they wanted to ground and pound. That just wasn't the case. You saw them go to a couple of different running backs. Kenner and Fredericks both returned this year. They were the ones who replaced Coker. They both accounted for 7 touchdowns and 1,000 yards, so it's not like they did a poor job filling in. They did a decent job. I think it was just a question of Stony Brook couldn't go to its bread and butter, which is between the tackles, a hard-nosed football team. I think the guy, but we really don't know who the quarterback is going to be. I think that's going to obviously be, it's a huge role. I think it's going to be Connor Bedarski. He's a junior college transfer quarterback. And the former quarterback at Stony Brook a couple years ago, Kyle Essington, they actually went to the same junior college. So I think that could maybe parlay over a little bit this season. We don't know. Look on that roster at quarterback. There's no one who threw a pass who was on the roster last year. No one threw a pass this year. So I think that's a big question. Again, offensively, I think it's just Stony Brook getting back to that ground and pound. I think that's what they want to do. We'll see what happens.
Here is Coach Priori again talking about the expectations for his offense in 2014.
Yeah, we were disappointed offensively last year, we had some growing pains going into the CAA. One was we lost our identity in running the football. We just did not produce like we had been in the past. A little bit caused by some injuries, a little bit caused by the team on the other side of the ball was a little bit better. So I think we need to adapt to that. And at Stony Brook, we need to run the football. We need to be able to control the tackle box and control the outcome of the game based on possession of the football. So I really do believe we've regenerated that. We have our tailback is back healthy. We've got a transfer coming in who I think is the real deal. I think we're talented on the outside, and I think we're big and strong enough up front. So I'm excited about our offense this year. We'll have a new starting quarterback, which is going to be interesting to see how that person adapts. But I think we're going to rely on trying to run the football and control the clock.
The Seawolves entered 2014 after finishing 5-6 and 3-5 in CAA play last fall. Ball bounces their way a couple of times last year, Tim, and this could have been a different looking team at times. The first 2 games in October are both on TV, starting with a road game at Towson on Comcast Sportsnet and a home night game versus Maine on the American Sports Network. Could be critical contest again.
Yeah, will absolutely be key. And the thing for me when you look at this team's out-of-conference schedule, I think it's pretty manageable. You look at, they play Bryant to open the season. That actually opens up for CAA football on a Thursday night. They play at UConn. Towson last year beat UConn pretty handily. I think maybe they won't be able to catch them off guard that easily, but still, I like the other out-of-conference game. They do play a Division II school, American, but they also play North Dakota on the road. You know, heading into that that first month, the end of September, they're going to start with William & Mary in conference play. Then they're first Towson and at Maine. Not very easy at all. Again, yeah, it's going to test them, I think, right off the bat. But again, you look at their schedule and you say, at a conference, okay, you know, we can play and we can manage, we can try to get some wins. They can step it up and really turn the switch once it comes to conference play again. And I really like their schedule overall. I think late September, early October is really going to dictate what this team looks like.
The Seawolves open their season on Thursday, August the 28th at LaVelle Stadium versus Bryant. Tim and I will be taking the weekend off, but you know, we'll be right back at it here on Monday.
Yeah, I got to work on the tan a little bit, maybe get some shopping in. I don't know if we'll have enough time, but on Monday we will continue the 12 teams in 12 days series. JMU Dukes, a new head coach, Everett Withers.
Also remember to go to the Everyday is Saturday blog. We got to catch up with Cody Precht, offensive lineman at Stony Brook.
First team all flow, right? With that hair?
Exactly. First team all flow. Remember to check that out now. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday at cafootball.wordpress.com.